the gap between the life that you have and the life that you want is not that complicated. So the first indication that something is off, that you're not living the life that you truly want, something just feels off. And maybe you are tired on your work and it's up your throat, right? And you might not have the partner that you want in your life. She's not there, or he's not there for you in the way that you would like a partner to do. You're not in a living situation or a financial situation where you have the freedom and the joy and the, that you desire. Or the output of like self-expression that you feel passionate about. Maybe some or all of these areas are a little bit off for you. So the good thing is that this is very important information. First, you need to understand that when you trust those indications, those signals that you get from life in your body, that's a great indication that this doesn't serve you anymore. Okay? And maybe you don't know what you want fully. You kind of have this idea of wanting to travel more, or you want this kind of freedom of your time, but you haven't really tasted it, so you don't really know if that's actually what you want. It's just the idea, the concept that people are selling you online, that this is the ultimate way of living and this is how you will feel happy. But this is just a perspective that one person have, and you adapt that perspective, and maybe it's not even that you actually want. And in order to find out what you want, you first need to create some distance from the things that you don't want anymore. This could mean taking some uncomfortable steps towards more space, which could look like going down from full-time job to maybe 4 days a week instead of 5. Or taking a break from the relationship. Or doing something differently when you come home instead of sitting down in the sofa and consuming TV shows. Maybe you go out for that walk or whatever it is. These are like kind of small steps, okay? So like, let's go back to like the more overview of this. Something is off. You don't feel like it's resonating anymore. That's information. You need space from that in order for something new to arise. An interest, a hobby, something that pulls you towards what you want and away from what no longer serves you. And it is fully possible to live a life that you just wake up to, where you feel like nothing really needs to change, that you feel content, that you feel fulfilled with what you have. Not because you have just chosen to be fulfilled with what you have, but rather that you're infused by the things that actually matters for you. In my own life, this has been a journey over like 10 years, I would say, from dealing with like going through romantic relationships that like felt good to some extent, but there were some like major things that didn't work that I needed to address, that I needed to walk away from. And now I have a partner that I wouldn't change for anything in the world. And one of my biggest values is family and connection, and we have a baby on the way, which feels so exciting. And I'm so blessed for that. And with everything, like, through actually, like, instead of just accepting a situation that is okay, you are actually capable of having the things that you actually want. But this means that you cannot accept what doesn't serve you, which means that you need to confront yourself. You need to step out in the unknown. You need to let go of certain things, a person, a job, whatever it is. You need to have a strategy forward. You need to, like, if you don't find it fulfilling on your job, maybe you shouldn't just quit your job because you don't have a backup plan with the finances in order. Maybe you need to have a transition plan. You need something in between so that you can take a step back from your job and at the same time have money coming in, because you need to survive. And not only that, you need to feel safe. I know for some years, I really just jumped out into the unknown, just quit my job. And yeah, things kind of sorted itself out. I started my coaching business like back 5 years ago. I started to see some results there. I rented out my apartment, got some passive income, moved into a friend where I didn't pay that much rent, so I had a lot of free time and everything sorted itself out anyways. But nowadays I don't accept that. I would never just quit my day-to-day job instantly without a backup plan. I would make sure I have a transition phase. I would make sure that I take a first step, not tomorrow, but now. But also to have a safety net that I can fall back on, so that I can feel safe during the transition. And that's the thing that, like, over the years, we change and we can actually get out of situations that doesn't serve us. We don't need to work a full-time job 5 days a week for the rest of our lives if that's not what we want. There are alternatives, and it looks different for everyone, but we kind of, like, we get this hand of cards, right? Yours is different than mine. And mine is different than yours. So I have my cards, and based on the hand that I can play, I choose my cards wisely and find something out. For me, in job situation, for example, I have a preschool teacher degree. So I worked as a preschool teacher full time. I was drained. It was dreadful after a time, even though I love to work with kids. So I took a step back from it and tried to figure it out. And after a couple of years, now I've moved country from Sweden to Oslo in Norway. And I work with kids with autism on a weekend job. And I can actually use my preschool teacher degree in this job. And I work every second weekend. So it's like I work 5 days a month in total. And I get actually a little bit better paid from these 5 days than when I worked full time as a preschool teacher in Sweden. So I look at what I have, I look at my hand, and then I take action accordingly. And what this made for me was that, okay, now suddenly I have a lot of space. So like I have 25 days a month that I can do whatever I want, right? So earlier this year, I started my photography business. So I started a business as a wedding photographer. I got my first job the same day I decided, because I'm someone who actually speaks about what I do, and I take charge of the situation, right? And talk with people, which led me to my first job, and that first job led me to my second job, and so on. So now I have that on the side, right? That can grow organically as it wants to. I don't need to like force anything because I have my financial needs met by the weekend job. And still I have a lot of free time to like figure things out, right? And before I've coached a lot, like years ago, especially like on my social channels on Instagram, for example. And now I'm kind of taking this up again. Like you can see on my YouTube channel that I have like 500 or something videos, right? I've been here for a while. And what I've found out during like these 2 years on YouTube is that I kind of found my voice in a way where it feels more natural to speak in front of the camera, and I kind of know what I want to speak about. It's like where I'm currently at and what I've transformed and integrated, and then I'm basically speaking to that part of myself that would need this information that I sit on now because I've went through all of these experiences, right? And now I'm here with you, sitting here, like speaking to you, right? So what I feel is that I want to like build my world, my space here on YouTube, based on what I've gone through, which made my life feel more alive. Not just look good on the surface, not just have the business on the surface, but actually where I like can wake up and feel inspired, where I can wake up and feel like life is not that stressful. It's like, yes, I get the challenges that I need to like expand and like evolve as a person and as a human, right? But still not too much so it becomes overwhelming and I'm just like, shutting down. I'm kind of found that kind of balance. So all of this, I want to like explore more with you here on YouTube as I'm like starting my channel here again. And I want to like tend to this fire because it fulfills me to speak like this, to put this into words, to articulate it, because when I speak about it, I integrate it even more, which is like perfect for me. And I know that if you have been in a similar situation as myself, like I'm speaking to this part of myself that I know there are people that are navigating similar things and can relate to this. So if you are one of those people that relate to what I'm speaking about here, just stick around and see if something fits you. And yeah, and let's see where this will take us together. But with that being said, I feel like I'm complete for today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.